China to launch a BBM fund for real estate.
Good morning, everyone. Today's news article is China to launch $44 billion fund for real estates. China will launch a real estate fund to help property developers resolve a crippling debt crisis, aiming for a war chest of up to 300 billion yuan. In a bid to restore confidence in the industry, according to a state bank officials with direct knowledge of the matter. The move marked the first major step by the state to rescue the property sector since the debt troubles became public last year. The size of the fund would initially be set at 80 billion yuan through support from the central bank. The People's Bank of China, the persons who declined to be identified due to the sensitivity of the matter, said he owned China Construction Bank will contribution of 50 billion yuan into the 80 billion yuan fund, but the money will come from PBOC's relending facility. If the models work, other banks will follow suit with a target to raise up to 200 to 300 billion yuan. He added, a key pillar of the world's second largest economy, China's property sector has been from one crisis to another and has been a major drag on growth over the past year. A revolt by home buyers this month heaved more headache for authorities. Some analysts said a fund would only provide part of the solution. We don't know details of the fund yet. If just 80 billion, it's not enough to solve the problem. I believe the fund would be part of the bigger package to solve the current debt and mortgage crisis because it alone would not solve all the problems. We need a real estate recovery. Reuters has reached out for the comment from China's Construction Bank, the PBOCs, and China's Cabinet, the State Council. Global investors are fixated on any twists and turns in China's property market, which, along with related sectors such as construction, accounts for more than a quarter of the country's GDP. The source said the fund will be used to bankroll the purchases of unfinished home projects and complete their construction and then rent them to individuals as part of the government's drive to boost rental housing. Such a move would underline the importance the central government attached to providing more affordable homes for young people at a time when some local governments have been reluctant to build rental housing because land scales are a major source of income. Government-backed real estates, which set up one of the first local bailout funds in the country last week, with state-owned Henan Asset Management amid the mortgage boycott, plans to use 20 billion yuan to acquire 50,000 units and turn them into rental housing according to a notice by authorities this month. Turmoil in China's property market, from the debt crisis to credit tightening and the mortgage boycott, have battered confidence in the sector and seen authorities scramble to avert problems spilling into the broader economy. If the fund can be realized in the near future, it helps avoid more developers from defaulting and also helps to improve market sentiment as well as developer sales, said Raymond Ching, head of China's research at CGS Securities. The latest news propelled the Hang Seng mainland properties index more than 5% early on Monday, and it was up 3.5% in mid-afternoon trading. The CSI 300 real estate index rose almost 2.0%, financial information provider read first reported details of the real estate fund on Monday. The fund would support more than a dozen property developers, including Embattled China Evergrande Group, reported, citing unidentified sources. Thank you.
Yes, come on. wait. Theatre of Reform. एक मिनट हो. Theatre.
सर कहाँ तक पढ़ना सर कहाँ तक पढ़ना
Start from here. Speaking in the.
सर
हाँ. Till here. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Nandini. Today bulletin are Theatre of Reform. India needs joint commands and its need a CDAs. The two are linked and both are must delay. Speaking in Jammu on Sundays, Rajnath Singh re-emphasized that joint the theatre commands are different reform priority, but while what seems to on track, little headway has been made so far. Arguments for the theatre's commands are known. Warfare is changing, and one modern response is joint commands that manpower and resources of the three services. Arguments against are known too. Currently, India has 17 single service commands spread across a wide geography. Converting them into joint theatre commands would require a radical change in the culture of armed forces. One of the most under the consideration involved the establishment of four new integrated commands, two land commands, one air defense command, and one maritime command to optimize the military resources. But the air forces had previously expressed reservations about splitting assets. Argument that a 22 commands IAF operates with just about 30, and since Air Force assets have dual offensive and defensive rule, commands has to be joint. It is iron outside issues that Central has formed an 8 members panel under than the Chief of Defence Staff. General Bipin Rawat is in June 2021, and the deadlines of submitting reports of finalizing the new joint structures was April this year. But the Jin Rawat that last December set back of entire process. The matter have been helped by CDA's post playing vacant since Government of India others defense reform, the Agnipath scheme to recruit future soldiers, change the manpower profile of the armed forces, and cut down on the ballooning defense salary and pensions bill. Meet with furious protest. The scheme is on, but its critics are still
skeptical.
Spectacles. Government has its nerves as Agnipath protest rolled various cities. hopefully facing down youth military
Young,
aspirants. Young military aspirants hasn't affected government determination to force through the theater of command reforms.
thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. द सिल्वर लाइनिंग, ये सब एडिटोरियल पेज है, ठीक है। तो द सिल्वर लाइनिंग,
Good morning to one and all. I am Shashank Raj is going to read the news, The Silver Lining. Celebrate Neeraj Chopra ask where the next world-class medal winner are coming from. India's wait for its second World Athletics Championship medal turned out to be even longer than for its in second Olympic individual gold. And it's the same sports person who has broken both the 19 years and the 13 years droughts. Neeraj Chopra's Tokyo gold had spread joy across the country last year and made him a household name. This has ensured a mass cheering for the silver. He scored in Oregon on Sunday. General public interest in athletics remains otherwise poor. Yet while the 5 other Indian athletes who made it to the javelin, long jump, triple jump and 3000 meter steeplechase finals in Oregon will not be featured even a fraction as much. The fact is that India's 2024 or even 2028 Olympic story will be disappointing if it is not broader than today's. It is all this finalistic taken together that make this India's best ever showing in a more meaningful ways, because it suggests a future of more numerous and diverse podium finishes. It should be absolutely clear that this will be massively resource clear, that this will be a resource intensive endeavor. If it takes a village to raise a child, it takes public funds, private funds, corporate sponsors, coaches, physios, regular participation in international competition, not to mention extraordinary personal tenacity to join the world's club. Just as earlier medalists sparked interest in wrestling and boxing in India's hinterland, today's dusty grassroots javelin academies are rising for young girls as well. In this endless public interaction too, Neeraj has been a stellar role model. There was Mary Kom, then Lovlina Borgohen, and Nikhil Zareen. Role models really matter. A country of billion plus people is too short of them. So we were worried where the next Neeraj Chopra is when this one is still honing this game, is still training to make a 90-meter throw.
opposition puts obstacles in the path of development, Prime Minister. हाँ, फ्रॉम हियर आर्टिकल यहाँ है तो फिर यहाँ पे क्या है, यहाँ से ओके फाइन कम ओवर हियर एटलीस्ट.
Good morning, everyone. I am Khushi. Today's headlines are: Opposition puts obstacles in paths of development. PM. Identities the politics.
क्लैरिटी लाओ, आवाज में क्लैरिटी चलो.
Political interests should not be above societies and the country. Kanpur Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday said that in recent that trend of keeping ideologies of the political interest above the interest of the society and the country has started, but it should not go against the country, accusing the oppositions of operating the development works. He said many times the options parts put some obstacles in the
Opposition puts obstacles in the path of development. PM, right? Start from here.
Good morning to all of you. As you know, my name is Ravi, and today's headlines are: Opposition puts obstacles in a path of development. PM. Ideology, political interest should not be above society and country. Kanpur, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday said that in recent times, the trade of keeping ideology on political interest above the interest of the society and the country has started, but it should not go against the country, accusing the oppositions of the obstructing development work. He said many times the opposing parties put some obstacle in the government work as they could not implement on the decision taken by them when they were in power. The PM was addressing virtuality, a program on 10th death anniversary of former Samajwadi Party Rajya Sabha member. Some people have started opposing the country by opposing the party and the individual because of ideology. It is the responsibility of every political party that opposing a party or an individual should not turn against the country, the PM said. Ideologies should have their places and they should be there. Also, there may be political ambitions, but the society is first and the country is first. The PM said a party was bigger than the individual and the country bigger than a party, as the existence of a parties were because of democracy and the existence of a
कंप्लीट कीजिए.
democracy were because of country. Most of the parties in our country, especially all the non-Congress parties, have carried the idea to the ideal of a corporate and the coordinate for the country, he added. Citing examples, the PM said that when the India-Pakistan war happened, all the major parties stood with the government. Even when the country conducted the first nuclear test, all the major parties stood by the side of the government. But when the country democracy was crushed all the times of the emergency, then we all fought together to save our democracy, he said. The PM said socialism was not a matter of dispute. Hailing society's leader Ram Manohar Lohia, he said society in our moral culture and the nature. Lohia ji used to talk about social culture. Started the Ramayan Leela. He had envisioned protecting Ganga and Yamuna years ago.
Thank you. So much. Jet planes checked in 5 days. Minister tells. Okay. उसके बीच में रहना। हाँ ठीक है।
48 SpiceJet planes checked in 5 days, Minister tells court. The District General of Civil Aviation conducted 53 spot checks on 48 aircrafts of SpiceJet between July 9 and 13, and it did not find any major safety violations, Union Minister of State for Aviation B.K. Singh said on Monday. However, as a safety measure, the DGCA ordered SpiceJet to use certain identified aircraft for operations only after confirming to the regulator that all reported defects are rectified, Singh said in written reply in Rajya Sabha. A SpiceJet official said all the 10 planes are flying now. The regulator starts conducting surprise checks on SpiceJet aircraft 3 days after it had issued a so-called notice to the airlines following a spate in incidents and for falling. To establish safe, efficient and reliable air services. The checks carried on till July 13. A total of 53 spot checks were carried out of 48 aircraft which did not find any major significant finding or safety violation. Singh said the DGCA so-called notice was issued on July 5 and the cash-strapped airlines has to explain by Tuesday, July 26, why action should not be taken against it. A decision on that is likely this week. Thank you.
%86 appear on day 1. काम के ऊपर रखो ना बाबू। काम के ऊपर।
Good morning to all of you. My name is Ruchi Kumari and the headlines are 86% appear on day 1 of JEE Main. New Delhi. The week-long session 2 of JEE Main, which commenced on Monday, recorded 86% attendance with 1 lakh of the 1.16 lakh registered candidates taking the test on day 1. The test was conducted at 402 centers in 243 cities. JEE Main is conducted for admission to undergraduate programs offered by the National Institutes of Technology, Indian Institutes of Information Technology and other centrally funded technical institutions and engineering college of participating states. It is also the eligibility test for JEE Advanced for admission to the IITs. The test is conducted in 2 slots. The first slot recorded 86% attendance, while the second saw 87% candidates taking the test. Rajasthan recorded the highest attendance of 92.2%, followed by Madhya Pradesh 90.6% and Delhi 90.4%. The National Testing Agency said it did not receive complaints of any technical issues on day 1 of the exam. According to NTA officials, all security protocols, including the 4 AM security patching, were followed like they were done for CUET UZ. The exam has started successfully. NTA would like to thank the Meerut administration for facilitating the mobility of the candidates on the highway on which traffic was restricted due to the movement of religious processions. Kanwar Yatra, said Vineet Joshi, Director General NTA. Thank you.
चलो नेक्स्ट फर्स्ट what was their fault? Congress leader Gogoi. Right?
Good morning, everyone. What was their fault? Cong leader Gogi continued from P1. Many members dropped into the well of the house during the question hour. Rajendra Agarwal, who was charting the proceeding, implored the opposition members to take note of the warning given by the speaker. He said the member who had been suspended had shown stubborn behavior and continuously disturbed proceeding and ignored house rule and direction of the speaker. The house then passed the resolution by a voice vote and Agarwal and announced their suspension for adjourning the house for the day. Speaking to report along with the fourth suspended MPS Congress deputy leader in Lok Sabha, Gauriya Gogi said the government is trying to in us by suspending our MPS. What was their fault? They were trying to release the issues which matter to people. Thank you.
Doctors, children, more susceptible to monsoon ailment.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ujjwal Bose, and today's news headlines are news about doctors' children more susceptible to monsoon ailments. Patna, children are more susceptible to infection and illness in rainy season, causing much anxiety to their parents. As kids have natural passion for conveniences of junk food, including basic hygiene practice in them, both at home and school, can prevent many germs from entering the children's body, said medical expert of at the city. Typhoid, jaundice, sudden abdominal pain, and diarrhea.
इतना स्लो कर दिया ताकि कनेक्ट ही नहीं कर पा रहे हैं.
Okay.
ठीक से पढ़ो, जैसे पढ़ा है तो पढ़ो ना ताकि समझ में आए. चलो.
Coupled with high fever are the common problems affecting children in monsoon. Washing hands before taking food and using only filtered and boiled water for drinking can prevent children from many infections diseases during the season, said Dr. Sunil Kishore, Assistant Professor of Pediatrics, Indira Gandhi Institute of Medical Science, IGMS. According to Dr. Kishore, the rural areas another problem of leptospirosis, having symptoms of muscle pain, high fever, bleeding, and redness of eye in children is also common during season. He advised to discourage children from taking chilled water as it could lead to temperature imbalances in body and causes sore throat. The pathological investigation of children suffering from monsoon elements also confirmed rises in typhoid
cases, both bacteria and viral. According to Dr. Sangam Sukla, a pathologist, there has been a rise of 25 to 30% in such cases, mostly categories of as factorial infection in the last fortnight, he said. The immune system of children below 6 years is not fully developed, thus child thus behavior like exerting most of their energy in playing without taking sufficient water often lead to dehydration in them. Besides, hot and humid weather is suitable for growth of bacteria. Such conditions can affect the children health, says Dr. Gyan Bhushan Raman, a physician. Dr. Gyan also cautioned people against the modern of taking packaged food, packed food, saying that multiple handling from participations of the items to their packaging raised chances of their contamination. Thank you.
Cross.